Can I? I don't know. Can I, who
Go
here
ahead.
doesn't want to hear the spoiler?
Explain.
I
Go
was
ahead.
very disappointed with the Dark Saber arc in Bo-Katan. Very anticlimactic. It was feeling it was being built up this whole season, and then they basically did. Well, isn't it kind of yours already? And I was like, really? That's what we've been building up for this whole season? For her to take it?
It's come out one time, and she was the one that used it.
I know it makes sense, but it's not. You want? Come on. It's the easy way to go out, until I wanted to see a big epic sequence for her to regain the Darksaber. Now, if they were going to do that, when she saved Din Djarin's life, I think it would have been better if they were going to go that route, that they should have said, no, you keep it. You saved my life. I already lost it to the beast or whatever that creature was. But the way it was done, it was like, oh, come on. That was kind of like a cop-out to me.
That was good enough.
It was not good enough. You hear what you're saying? You know,
I didn't, dude. I did not mind it at all. I saw it coming. I mean, if you didn't see it coming, then you haven't been paying attention this year.
No, yeah, but
I got so excited in the. I got so excited in the droid bar.
What's that?
When they went to the droid bar, I got so excited when they showed the table of Rexes from Star Tours. Like,
that was
it's Rex.
that was another thing I did not like about this episode. The droids were like, oh yeah, we kind of like being slaves. We're happy with our captors. I'm like, oh my dear Lord. Otherwise, they just get rid of us. That was a weird freaking message. It was like the complete opposite of L3 and Solo, where L3 is like, droid rights. Now they're like, well, we kind of like droid slavery because at least you don't kill us. Am I wrong? Did I miss something there? That's basically what they did. Well, you're not going to decommission us, so we like being your slaves.
That might be the point, though. That's a sadder fate. And they could be setting up for something. Maybe that Han Solo droid.
Also, they've always been weird.
That's another one I was like, oh, facepalm. I'm like, really?
Star Wars has always been weird with droids, though, because it's like, yeah, R2 and 3PO have a lot of personality, but they've never done like the data thing where they explore like, are they alive or are they hardware? You know, it's like, what are they? Like Star Wars has never really, that was the only time they've ever really broached it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought it was weird how everyone treated it. It wasn't until Luke was the only one that really talked to C-3PO and R2-D2. Everyone else treated them like basic like robots and any other sci-fi. It was like Luke that would actually talk to them, and tell him his problems and all that stuff.
But Cal, you don't have to kill each other to gain control of the Darksaber. You just have to win a fight, you know. You just have to submit or, have a battle. And that could have been cool. That's all. I was just disappointed and that made me cringe when the droids were like, well, you have to do every your whim because you don't kill us. I was like, oh my dear Lord. Weird messaging. I mean, if you think am I wrong to think that way? Brian, what do you think? It's like, hey,
sure. I mean, it's cool.
Okay, let me push back. Is it weird messaging then when the bartender said, hey, those two droids aren't allowed, and Luke is like, yeah, get out of here. We don't want to cause any trouble, and he actually tells them to leave. Is that weird messaging?
Yes.
Rather than Luke, yeah. So okay, so it's okay for stuff to have weird messaging.
They were being prejudiced against droids,
and Luke was cool with it.
Yeah, you're right.
As a friend, he should have left with them and like, no, I will not stay. He should have found a soapbox. He should have found a soapbox. Stand in it and get all the aliens' attention.
And then
I hereby leave.
And then the usuals be like, this is virtue signaling from Luke Skywalker.
But yeah, I kind of like talked about this. It's okay to have like weird themes or like something like testing your morals a little bit.
It's just like the exact opposite of that, though. It's still message. It's like the droid things in Solo was dumb anyway. I mean, I actually think it's not dumb, the thought of droid rights. if it's not done in a cringe way. Like that was like
It's a good idea.
that was one of the worst parts of Solo to me.
Oh,
Worst
I like
parts
that.
of Solo.
I like that character. I like that droid.
L3 when droids rights and then die. I mean,
I always thought it was weird though how
messaging.
like I always thought it was weird though like all those fandom menace people would get upset because they'd be like, that movie said Han Solo has sex with droids, and it's like, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. She said he wanted her and she wasn't interested. You know?
I only get mad because I kind of wish it did.
I mean, I don't care. We might be heading that way in the future anyway. I don't. People are like, oh yeah.
People have
Who
their
knows?
sex dolls now.
Yeah, yeah. AI? Are you kidding me? When AI, you could give Chat GPT and stuff. I'm like, it's gonna get different in the future. We might be heading towards like Blade Runner, and I don't know, not like that intense, but no, droid rights I don't think is dumb. It's just then the execution was really. I didn't think that droid was charismatic at all. Like there's other droids like the one from that they introduced. BB-8 was fun in The Force Awakens, and then after that, I don't think they did anything good with BB-8. It was just kind of okay. They just bounced the ball around when the ship's flying around. It was like nothing really. What was done with BB-8 after The Force Awakens? Besides nothing really cool. And then
I enjoyed the scene in Canto Bight when they were putting the coins in. I'm thinking he was a slot.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah. You enjoyed Canto Bight. Oh my god.
He ran with the horses in the last one.
Yeah.
Or
And
rolled with
then
the
the K2SO from Rogue One was a great droid. It was really funny. You know, had good timing.
Shout out to the droid in Boba Fett, the train droid. That dude was like holding it down for a while when they were trying to heist the train.
You're right. Cool you're right, Voltaire. If droids were real, lots of people would be.
Especially that R2.
I do think more integration of droid-free and existentialism will be cool. Yeah, I'm open to the idea. It's just the way it was executed in both Solo and this episode is like, okay, they're not doing great with the droid stories, in my opinion. They're kind of floundering. There's a better way to do this. I don't know what way it is, but it ain't this. It's to me, in my opinion. That's all. It's just not. It's not working. For me, and I'm open to these stories with droids, definitely. Okay, but let's get to the. That's my little mini spoiler review of that episode. Let me give it a score. I kind of reviewed somewhat to an extent.
So what would you give it a 6 or 7 or 8 or 9?
6 out of 10.
It's not bad.
6 out of 10.
I haven't watched it, but I'm gonna check it out.
I wouldn't say a 5. I want to give it a 7, but I can't justify even a 7.
Is that the worst rated episode of the season so far?
For me, yeah.
What about of the whole series?
The whole series, I would say an 8 out of 10. There's been a couple episodes that have floundered. I'd like to give it a 9, but it's not a slam dunk.
Right.
The cameos were pretty cool. Although these were my least favorite cameos from this episode. I like
we had Doc Brown there.
Well, I mean, like having Zeb from Rebels, and what were some of the other ones? Oh, and having Ahmed Best as a new character.
Yeah,
those were way more exciting than Jack Black, Lizzo.
See, I think the best guest star. I think the best guest star this season has been the Ladies' Man.
What, Brian?
I see there is no pleasing you, sir.
I said they were more exciting than Jack Black, Lizzo, and Doc Brown. I like seeing him. I love Christopher Lloyd. It's just that the character was just kind of
I mean, what were you expecting?
I mean, when you time? All right, people don't like to compare. If you compare St. Christopher Lloyd and Zach Black with his weird beard and and they were kind of like character, they're just there for comedy, to Ahmed Best saving Grogu in a flashback. That is more legit. I am comparing the two.
It makes sense for the situation that they were in.
Your dogs disagree.
I am more excited by Christopher Lloyd than Ahmed Best, personally.
Okay. All right.
And he was a separatist.
Yeah.
He was an ist.
Ist.
Okay. All right, well, moving on.
He said Dooku was a visionary. Name dropping the count.
Yeah.
And as you've watched
One,
Clone Wars,